All right, so got a little heads up action too. Well, we're trying to start some tables. I prefer not to just play this guy heads up, but we'll see what happens. Obviously with the flush draw, we'll probably bet and then jam over. I will isolate there with the king-queen. Nothing too crazy has happened while I was setting up the broadcast, so we'll see if this really works. But it's on a little delay. There's the raise, there's the jam. Run good, boys. Heart ball. There's a heart. So our run good continues. We isolated with king-queen down here. It's a pretty strong hand from the button. Facing this 3-bet readless, we are just going to give it up. But I'm going to wait a second just so he doesn't think we're getting too out of line. And really, we're not getting out of line. King-queen makes a pretty good isolation hand. I am trying to find more tables, though. So we'll fold that, top off. Still wish Ignition had auto top off feature. We won a little pot over here where we double barreled sixes on an 8-4-5 board with 2 diamonds. And didn't look like we were going to win it, but he did show just a queen high flush draw. I didn't have a great feeling about it. The turn was an ace, and I contemplated not betting it. Here we raise 9-10, get a caller, and flop the nuts, so that's always fun. And he called. Well, it's a bit of an action killer. We also chop against tens. We're also now losing to king 10, but this hand is not going in the muck anytime soon, and we will try and value bet 3 streets. Hope he looks us up with a queen. Looks like he... Oh, no. Okay, he had the 10. He was afraid of king 10, so he sucked out a little bit for the chop. Glad a king didn't come on the river, obviously. Yeah, we'll post that. And wake up with aces, though. So that's kind of funny. Flop the nuts and lose to the rake. Not ideal, I will say that, but could be worse. And we get a shot here against this half stack with aces. We are going to raise this and try and get the money in by the river. So hoping he jams here. He doesn't. He bets $1. His stack is not big, but it's big enough. I did want to put in a raise there and get the pot built up, but unfortunately it was not meant to be. We will fold there too. He overbets the pot by like four times the size of the pot. Still no open tables on Ignition. I'm keeping my eyes on there. I tried to open a table. We had that $15 stack that we happened to bust with the flush draw. He was only 30 big blinds deep. So when he made that check raise, it's pretty certain that he has an ace. But for 30 big blinds, I was more than happy to put the last $10 in there. See if we could hit it, and we did. Plays a little bit better actually if you're deeper. Maybe you get a little more wiggle room, but that hand was actually kind of standard. And I'm keeping my eyes open on these tables, not seeing anything still. So what you're seeing, you got the 3 tables. And then you got the lovely video of me, of course, and then we got this results graph, which whenever I hit refresh on Hold'em Manager, should refresh to whatever we're at. So did it work? Let's take a look. Where's OBS? Yep, so it updated, and I'm not 3-bet this guy. They like to steal light. Ace-9, having an ace is nice. You can also just defend. He calls, and we will stab at this for half pot. They only have to fold 33% of the time for it to be profitable right away. I don't think I'm going to fire multiple barrels, though, readless against this guy. So, kind of unlucky. I'm afraid it's going to go check-check. He's going to show a queen-10 type of a hand. But we're just going to see what he's defending with. Pocket 8s. Maybe the 2-barrel would have worked. Pretty standard. I don't think 3-betting ace-9 is necessarily standard, but I like to 3-bet pretty aggressively against small blind versus big blind opens when I'm holding an ace. And we did have 6 outs still. Took a little hit there on the showdown. Let's check the old Ignition lobby here. See if we can't find another table. Nope, that one's full. Definitely one of the more infuriating things about Ignition is how long it takes. Oh, I don't know if we need to set mine against someone that short. Hopefully one of these guys comes along. Usually as a standard, I'll set mine from the button and not feel too bad about it, but I'm a little distracted and didn't notice how short he was, and of course they both fold, so I'm not going to mess with him, but I am going to turn a boat and hope he stacks off. Let's just make a tiny raise here so I can shove any river. Nice, hopefully he has a flush, and we'll snap call that. Sorry, buddy. No good. Very, very strange play right there. So he raises queen jack, flops an open ender, could have taken the pot right there. Instead, he checked, let us hit a boat, and then decided to open ship when he made a pair on the river. Could never get called by worse. I don't think he could ever get better to fold. So that was kind of a weird way to play it. Here, we don't even flop a gut shot. This guy leads into us, but we'll let it go. Ace 9, heads up. We'll raise it and take 50 cents for free. This is not developing into the type of table I wanted to see. 230 big blind stacks. So we will continue to pray for a better table to open up. Though this guy is limping buttons, which is always a good sign for us. So, you know, could be okay. Here we flop a flush draw. We'll try and take the pot now. It's not totally impossible for this guy to have an ace if he's limping all his buttons, but it seems unlikely. Most even bad players know to raise their aces on the button. So we do take that down with 9 high, which is nice. Still gonna keep our eyes peeled on this lobby, but we are not having a lot of tables open. Steal that guy's luck. King, queen of hearts in the big blind, not a bad hand. We are on a 30-second plus delay, by the way, so if you're watching this, it is on a delay. I'm going to 3-bet this guy again. We 3-bet him last time, and we'll see what he decides to do this time. He calls. We flop top pair. Last time I made a half pot C-bet, and he came along. So hopefully he doesn't have 8s again. That's not a great turn for us, but we will be value betting this all the way down. I would hope ace-king would put in another raise. He does fold the turn, so that's okay for the red line. And we will update. Oh, that's Equilab, which is a very handy and free program. Let's take a look at the old Hold'em Manager graph. We can hit refresh on that. And it says we are up a little over half a buy-in. Just starting the session. So I was not paying attention, not sure what happened here, but it looks like this guy got hurt by our friend up top in the 1 seat. This guy min raises, which I would usually defend, but this guy 3-betting makes it a pretty clear fold. 5-10 on the buttons, obvious fold. Deuce 7 will let go. And go back to praying for more tables to open. Here's one. Let's see if it's full by the time I get there. And it is. Hate that Ignition lags behind so long for their updates to tables. So we'll just sit heads up, see if we can't get a good heads up game, because I've been trying to find a decent 6-max table for probably 5 or 10 minutes. So not a fan of waiting, and heads up is kind of my favorite version of poker, so we'll see if we can't get some action on the heads up front. Looks like we're also playing heads up here too, so not a terrible spot to be in. King 8 suited will defend against raise. He does not raise. We'll go the flop 2 overs and a gut shot. I will lead that and take that down, which is nice. Jack deuce. We'll fold even if they didn't raise ahead of us. I feel pretty confident just folding that. Queen 3. This guy's probably not going to fold a lot pre. So we're going to get a bead on how he plays. Rake is really bad at these stakes, so in close spots, pre-flop spots, I think you can err towards folding without feeling too bad about it. With hands like Queen 3 offsuit against a half stack. Ace King, we will raise. Whoa, what's going on? 3x, and 3's actually not a terrible card. He doesn't raise a lot pre, so I don't expect him to have a lot of 3s. I actually expect him to have some jacks. So we'll put out a little value bet here. See if a jack will look us up. Good Jack 10, and we get heads up action. So that's a good thing. Three ways. I think we'll just check that back. If I had a gut shot, I think I'd consider firing it. You have some fold equity mixed with your equity to the nut straight, but given that we kind of just have king high, I'm not even going to bother with it, and I'll give up on the flop. So the heads up battle has begun. We got a full stack to sit us, which is nice. Our first open was met with a fold, which is fine with me. And then he folds his small blinds. So probably not a super fish. I prefer it when I see them limping their small blinds. But we will see what we can do. 7 deuce we will fold, obviously. Apparently not. Hey, that guy raises. And queen jack is an obvious raise. We'll defend against a 3-bet as well by calling. It would be his first 3-bet. Nothing else going on. All right, he folds. So this table is developing, and this guy's got $50. Hopefully he's a fishier player. Usually when they sit with a full 50, it's kind of hit or miss. These guys are obviously weaker players, we know. This guy's playing really tight for heads up. We played 6 hands. He has raised 0 of them, and he's defended his big blind 0 of them. So I'm not really sure what's going on with him. Obviously, like I said, I prefer just like a huge, fish who's limping every button and going crazy, but apparently that's not what we're going to get with him today. But we'll see. Here we would have flopped a gut shot, but obviously not in that pot. 6-3. Let's just start min raising. See if he continues to fold. He has yet to raise a button. He's yet to 3-bet, and he's yet to defend against a steal. So very strange. Now it's only been 8 hands, but that's just excruciatingly tight play heads up. It's not a bad board to c-bet either. He does have a lot of king highs, some 10s, but I think ace high might fold here. I think queen high, jack high would fold. Since he's so tight, I'm just going to try and get a feel on what type of hands he's defending and check this one down. And he shows queen high, no draw. So very interesting. I think we're in a good spot. That is probably not a board that you want to be check calling as a defend. Even heads up. Yeah, queen high is good sometimes. It was there, but usually I'm going to fire multiple barrels. This guy opens to 6x out of his 30x stack, so we'll fold that. Ace king suited, we'll probably be trying to get in pre. Looks like we might be opening the button, which we are. Make a nice standard 3x raise. Ace 3 we can fold. Ace 4. Ace king flops top. Backdoor royal flush draw. Here we flop bottom pair. I think I'll check back. I guess we'll call. It's an okay card for us. It ruins some of his 8s combinations. And I think I will bet with the intention of checking back the river. I think it keeps him from betting the river big. I don't like that card at all. Some of the straight draws got there. So any 7 is a straight. And also like some weird hands that have a 5 in them also just made a pair. So we have bottom pair against what is shown to be a pretty tight player. Not aggressive at all, so we will fold. Folding pairs heads up is never fun, but can't really justify making a hero call there. So we'll fold. Hey, he finally raises a button. Pocket 6s we will open. 6-3 we will fold. This guy's lost his mind, by the way. I've been watching him kind of closely. He's been like 6xing it all over the place. Here we flop quads. We've made quads so many times lately. It's almost insane. And I'm going to check this one. You know what? Yeah, I'll check that one back. Hope to get his money. Actually, that's a really good card for us. That's a really good card for us too. So this guy just raised to 3. And I do want to get his full stack somehow, so we will put in another little bet here and see. Maybe we boat over boated someone. I think he's going to be in a little bit of trouble, and he is. Maybe we should have just called the turn, but I do want a chance if he has a straight or a boat that he's representing. I do want to get his entire $60, so we have to put some money in at some point. We'll defend here for for 50 more cents. Check folding that flop is probably fine. Let's try our first 3-bet over here with pocket fives. See how he reacts, and he folds pretty quickly, which I kind of expected. Here we will fold the 10 high, and here we'll bump up the 7-3 suited. He's yet to 3-bet. At some point you'd think he'd 3-bet, but he is pretty tight. I don't know if he's going to adjust by light 3-betting at any point. It is a small enough 3-bet, and I'm comfortable playing post-flop that we will defend here. We'll also call one street and fold if he fires multiple big barrels, given how he's played. I do want a shot at this pot, though. I think we will bet here. 8s, 9s, 10s might fold, might not, but I think we might have the best hand some of the time, and I think he'll fold a bunch of equity. If he check raises, it'll be a pretty clear fold. You could also check back here, but a bunch of hands have a bunch of outs, and like if a 10, ace, or queen comes off, it's pretty much a disaster for our hand. He check raises, so I can't say I'm super surprised by that. His 3-betting range should be pretty tight. I was hoping it included more like 6s, 2s, 4s. I mean, actually I'd be fine with those hands calling. I was really hoping some 8s, 9s, 10s might find a fold. We might get value from some ace, queen. I was hoping he didn't have, a really good hand, but he's telling us now that he had something. So, not exactly sure what he had, but something worth raising there. Check raising, unless he was bluffing. But his ag factor is at 1.3. That was his first 3-bet, so I'll give him credit this time. I'm not going to call him down with a third pair. If he had like a flush draw or a combo draw, good for him. He also had a ton of equity still, so like queen 10 of clubs there. Technically, by the time we get to that turn, he was a small dog, but I'm never going to know what kind of river is good for me or not, so we let that one go, and I don't feel too bad about it. King 5, I think we'll raise. So he's actually defending more now, so I don't have to raise total crap or anything, but we'll kind of develop what type of preflop range we want as we see how serious this guy is. He throws in another check raise. If I had anything going for me, I might float this, but I've got king high, no backdoor draw. I mean, technically I have a bad backdoor straight draw, but no heart, so we'll let that go without feeling too bad about it. Ace 10 I would defend against that 50-cent open, or even consider 3-betting against some players, but with that 3-bet, ace 10 will just hit the muck. Ace queen, obvious open for 3x. He 3-bets again. This time I'll let it go. So he is changing it up on us here, getting a little more aggressive, which is nice. Give us a shot at some money. I don't know if he was trolling at first, kind of appearing to be weak or what, but he has developed into actually a more aggressive pre-flop player than we are right now. And even on the flop, he's been mixing in a lot of check raises, a lot of kind of weird things. He called us with queen high earlier on a board where he had no draw at all, which was kind of weird. I think he'll fold queen high and jack high here, and I think he would check raise an ace. So I'm guessing when we get to this river, man, I'm really, really curious. He might show us actually just a pair of queens or something. I don't know what he's leading now that the flush draw comes in, possibly a flush. So we'll see. I defended 7-8 here. Yeah, he shows he had a diamond, so he had a flush. I guess he could have ace-8 as well. And this is kind of a bad spot for us to be in. We flop a pair. It's not a very good one. And against the preflop raiser, I'm not super excited about it. But we peel 1, and we're going to see kind of how this hand develops. He super quickly checked back the turn, but now he's betting the river, and he's kind of got me curious. All right, I'm just gonna let it go. Probably don't even need to defend that pre-flop, especially unsuited. 3 ways, kind of made a bad decision pre-flop, and that's kind of how we found ourselves in this spot. Trying to think of what hands we could beat. I can't think of many. So if he's bluffing, it's fine. though I would expect him to bet the turn with an ace, and I don't think he'd value bet a jack here, which is what has me confused. But could be like an ace-10 type hand who decided he could only get 2 streets. So we'll let it go. This guy's up 25 or whatever on us. King 10 will definitely pop up on the button if I can get my mouse to work. And pocket 4s we'll try and flop a set with. Nope, looks like we'll be opening it. And we flop a gut shot there. I will c-bet that as a bluff, and I will c-bet this as a bluff too. 2-3 we can fold. And the 4s wins there. His stack size, yeah, I think I'm going to check back, try and bink a queen, which we do. So now we have the nuts. So let's go for a little half pot value bet. Jam, 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 jam. And he just calls. So, better than him folding for sure. And we'll fold queen jack there. I think we'll be floating this flop, taking a turn. I'll give him credit for at least a pair. We're kind of playing a little weak against him. He got me confused by playing so like passively for the first 10 hands. He's kind of got me just trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, he's destroying us in non-showdown pots. I mean, crushing us. But we won't let it get us off our game or anything. We'll just kind of play how we want to play. Ace-Jack, pretty clear open. 5-9 will min-raise, defend against his 3x 3-bet that he likes to do. And he does not. We do flop a little something. If he check raises this one, I think we will be floating that. Got a gut shot, and I think we will be betting some turns. Best part is, if we do hit a 6, let's say he check raises as a bluff and he has like ace-5 and we happen to hit a 6, we should be stacking him pretty hard. So he steals big blind 56% of the time. He folds to steal less than 1/3 of the time. So he's coming to the flop with pretty weak hands, which is weird because after the first 10 hands, he hadn't really done anything. But he has turned that around for sure. So what's up to Sedge there? Seder? You have to help me pronounce your name. And yep, we're just playing a couple 6-max and one heads up. Couldn't get 4 full tables, unfortunately, for 6-max. See how the graph's doing. Probably not good. Where are we at? Up about 20. Could be worse. Jack 9. Let's defend this one. I think I'll let that go. If that was a Jack of Hearts, I'd definitely check raise and look to possibly jam flop, and we'll fold there too. Over a small 3-bet, but we'll let that go. Yeah, 9 high's not going to win there, huh? So this guy's up about 30 on us. I'm guessing we're down like 35. Yep, we're down 33. I will defend against the min raise there. Flop second pair. And we'll fold that. I will bet this for value. Some pocket pairs like 4s, 5s, 6s, 8s, 9s, 10s would all be happy to call now. They'd probably call river. I'd probably bet like 1/3 of the pot. And this guy's become very, very sticky pre-flop. He's not folding a lot. He's 3-betting some. But we'll see what we can do with him. Put a little c-bet out there. He check raises. He's check raising a ton. So we're definitely going to get paid if we ever actually hit like a top 2-pair set type hand. I feel pretty confident, but we've been kind of card dead, and he's just pretty much ran over us. I think almost all of that $35 is in non-showdown winnings. So not much we can do. 9-10 offsuit. We'll be defending against a raise. Probably gonna check raise this flop. Let's see how he likes being check raised. Though I think he might actually float us pretty light. Maybe we'll just call. Nah. Time for us to get back at him a little bit. My luck, he'll probably come back over the top. And definitely will represent this card. There we go. Got a little bit back for the non-showdown. So we kind of are repping either a king or a draw. And a bunch of the draws get there on the turn. Yeah, he can have a draw sometimes, but I expect him to be calling light, and it's hard to have a draw. Especially when we're holding the 9 of clubs. It takes not a ton of the combos out, but some of them. So we make a little bit back there. We will defend in position. Flop an open ender. Definitely going to be floating this one. Just 6 out there. There we go. Beautiful card. Now last time we floated and then bet half pot on the turn, he check raised us big. So let's hope that happens again. Black. Total action killer there, huh? And we'll try and half pot it again on the river. And he snap calls. Probably an ace. Probably an ace. So that river definitely killed the action a little bit. I was hoping like maybe to bet 2/3 pot. I think an ace would happily call 2/3 pot there. But with all those cards, with ace king, he probably still would have called 2/3 pot, even though he essentially has a bluff catcher. His hand's actually really, really weak now. A ton of 2 pairs, particularly aces up. Most of them beat him now. I would never have ace queen or ace jack in that spot because I would have. Well, I don't know. Could I have ace queen or ace jack? I guess I defended against a 3-bet pre, and he probably doesn't know that I would 4-bet those hands. So, yeah, maybe I could. I don't know. All right, we'll raise the little steel wheel ace here. We'll raise ace jack, and obviously we will be 4-betting 10s with the intention of getting them all in pre-flop against this guy. So hopefully he jams. He does not. So I got to decide if I'm committed to this pot or not. And my gut tells me to bet it. I can almost never be drawing completely dead unless he has king 10. So that c-bet did not work. So if I bet here, I'm committed against that stack size. Alright, guess we'll just have to flip him for it if he shoves, which I'm guessing he'll shove all his queens, all his jacks, some draws, maybe some ace highs. So, kind of unlucky. I guess you could check back. The problem is it doesn't become much easier, and we do have outs. We have an open ender. Oh, he has a set. Now he has a boat. I need a jack or a 10. That's unlucky. That's unfortunate. And we'll fold there, obviously. He says, very nice hand. For the straight earlier. That's annoying. Finally got a great hand against him. But yeah, I did not like that flop, but having the open-ended straight draw. Our hand has outs. We had 8 outs when we got it in, actually 10, because the 10s would have given us an overset. And unfortunately, he boated the turn, which changed our outs from 10 to 3. No, 4. Any jack, any 10. So, not much we could do. When I decided to bet that flop with the open ender, it is what it is. So, he caught a little 2-outer, and then all the money went in with him having the best hand, so I can't be too upset about it, but it's not a great board when he check raises us all in. He's almost always going to have ace queen or a set, maybe queen jack, so he defended against a 4-bet. I don't know. I guess you could check back. The problem is if you check back and the turn's a 3 and he like bombs it, I don't know what you do. I'm definitely going to barrel this card. We picked up outs, and we haven't fired a ton of 2 barrels against him. He He raises. That is insanely obnoxious because we're not deep enough to put in another bet. So I can call 8. If I hit my heart, let's hit the time bank here. So assuming all 9 of my outs are clean, which I will assume, we have 18% to win. We're asking to call 8 into 21 plus whatever we can win after. So I think we are going to call here, hope to bank a heart. The river's a brick. So we're going to have a pretty clear fold on the river. And if he checks, I don't think I'm going to go for an overbet bluff. Gosh, he's going to show me king high, isn't he? He's going to show me like queen jack. Oh, he showed me king high. Glad I didn't hit the heart. Jeez. He called flop with king high, no draw. And then check raise the turn. We're getting absolutely obliterated by this guy. Yeah, I play a lot of heads up. It's actually my main game. Yeah, I'll fold there. Yeah, I usually play heads up. I've been switching back to 6 max recently, which has been good. But heads up's kind of the brand of poker I played before Black Friday. And it's been decent for us. I only have 10,000 hands right now, so pretty small sample size. I think we're at like 9 BB per 100, which is a little bit low, but I don't know. We're making okay decisions, not great. That 4 high flush draw that I called with a second ago would have been a disaster if I hit. I think it's somewhat close. So I was getting 3 to 1, but I only have 18%. So I was going to need to make up some money behind that if we hit it. And obviously I didn't put him on a flush draw because he would have had to do what he did, which was check call flop with 2 hearts, which is not impossible, but not super easy for him to have 2 hearts there. So that was kind of a weird play by him. He was calling us with king high to see what would happen. He actually kind of got the perfect run out in that if we didn't have hearts, his bluff would have worked if we didn't have an ace, which we didn't. And he got kind of hit the perfect part of our range in that we turned a flush draw. So what can you do? So yeah, we're down probably like 60, 64. Ace king is a nice hand. Flop top top, heads up. See if we can't get a couple streets of value, but we can't. Oh, sweet. Flip. Nope, we're ahead. Put a 10 on the river? Or give him the 2 outer. Nice. Thanks, Ignition. Thank you. So how much are we down? Down about a buy-in. Can live with that. Would have preferred not to lose that $47 pot on the river, but what can you do? That's kind of the way she goes. Ace-9 was a very defendable hand there. So, not exactly running great. And we flop second pair, try and get 2 streets here. That's a turn. All right, I'll let you have it, buddy. Gosh. I mean, I guess he could be bluffing. Show me the bluff. Show me the bluff. Yeah, we're down 42. So, nothing too crazy. That's a pair. Not the best board in the world, but still a pretty strong hand. Yeah, we called. Yep, 3 diamonds is good. I roll. How's our graph looking? Let's see. Where's it at? Running a little bit below EV. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, maybe I would have opened that on the button. I don't know. All right, let's see if 7 deuce can steal one here. Nope. Oh, might be the best hand though. I like that. Just check. Yeah, sorry, buddy. All right, we'll isolate. It's not even that good to isolate, but he's 42 and 8. Nope. Sorry, not slow rolling you here, bud. Not stalling on you, I should say. 8-3 suited. 6-7 suited. Gosh, this guy 3-bets like crazy. We are gonna mix in a 4-bet here. Flop second pair. 4-bet, light 4-bet, very light 4-bet. Puts him in his place. 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we'll check it back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, we'll bet. Try and get called by an ace. And he calls. Nice hand for us. He shows aces up. Good check on the turn. Some players I would barrel that turn. Some players I'd barrel multiple streets pretty frequently. But a guy who's playing 43-7, does not like to fold, is not one of them. So queen high, we c-bet. I think our success rate on c-bets against this guy is like possibly 0%. It says he folds to c-bet 25% of the time, and every single time we have c-bet, he has check raised when we don't have it. Hey, we got through a queen high gut shot bluff, but given how quickly he folded, I think we were actually accidentally value betting. Is this 3 ways? What happened here? Oh, guy limped and we isolated. All right, we'll bet. Hey, that's top pair. Hey, that c-bet worked. Pocket 2s is good. Hey, that's top pair. Hey, we'll set mine here. Oh, now he doesn't want to. Now he doesn't want to check raise us. Pocket 2s flops a set. Pocket aces has action in front of it. Beautiful. 10-7 will fold. So we had quads twice yesterday and once so far today. Can we get quads again today? Let's find out. All right. If he has queen jack, GG us. Definitely defend that. Now we have top set. So if he has king 10, GG us. And we bet 10. That'll let us shove the river. And that'll be an easy river shove for us. Come on, call. Hoping this guy has aces, not a set of 9s. Oh, and he finds a fold. That's unfortunate. That's a flush on the river. All right, pay it off. That's the nuts. So aces does not get action. This guy, we flop a set and lose. There. Unlucky. Definitely going to be firing 2-bear. I probably will bet 3 streets here if he has a king. That's kind of just unlucky, but heads up, jacks on this board's pretty strong. 10s are going to call pretty frequently. So our set loses. Maybe, like, his hand really looks like a flush there. So I guess maybe you could just like fold the river. I don't know. He raised pre though, so it takes some of those hands out. Let's remember how. Ooh, toppest of pairs here. Let's see. We flop a set. 3 ways. We raise flop. Bet turn and pause. All right. It's $42 in the pot. He has $30 behind. Let's bet half pot here. Let's see what's going on here. All right, I'll fold that. I'll fold that. And I'll check here. See if maybe he'll bluff. Nope, we're gonna win that one for sure. Whoa! Wow. He checked back 2 pair on the river. Wow, we're not running so hot all of a sudden. And we'll 4-bet that. And we'll flop 2 pair here. All right, hey, we're running hot here. Flopping over pair in a 4-bet pot. Hopefully he shoves Jack 10 or something. Queen Jack would be amazing. We would be snap calling, obviously. And he folds. All right, so anyway, what I was saying about, let's go for $7 here, call here, and check. Fold. Get a fold there. Fold, fold, fold. So on that, let's think about, so I'd already kind of resigned myself to the fact that I didn't really put him on a flush draw. Definitely not the flush draw. I would actually expect the nut flush draw just to jam it in on the flop, but that's neither here nor there. I kind of didn't put him on a flush draw. I thought he had an overpair. I was actually pretty worried about seeing jacks or the occasional flush when he jams that river. Now, in a vacuum, I think when a guy just jams the river like that, he actually does have the flush most of the times. When he bets 30, it was 30 into 40. So there's a pot of 70. It's going to be $30 into us to win a pot of a total of 100. You need to be right 30% of the time. So as a set good there, 30% of the time is what you have to figure out. And I'm certainly, like I said, not really thrilled with the situation because he's repping the flush, and it's quite possible he has it. It's definitely possible he has it. I think you could check back this turn, by the way, sometimes. Though this guy loves to call super light and do all sorts of crazy stuff, so I think we'll just be calling him down here. He loves to like call and then like check raise his draws on the turn and all sorts of stuff. So he called flop with 4 high, no draw, and check raise turn. So that's kind of why I was prepared to call him down. He was drawn dead, by the way. I think it's worth noting. And we turn a flush draw, which gets me to fire a second barrel, which wins there, which is nice as well. So this guy is essentially lost his mind. He's trying to float out of position. Not really sure why. Like, I think on that hand, he technically had a backdoor low, like, wheel draw. Yeah. He had a backdoor flush draw and a backdoor wheel draw, and he decided to lose his mind on the 8, which sometimes would work, except that I just don't trust him at all. I've seen him do just check. I mean, he's essentially repping that he has a monster like every single hand. He's check raised us multiple times. What I've called when he showed the ace high flush, if I was only playing that table. Yeah, so what I was kind of getting at with the math here is, you have to ask if he's bluffing or value betting worse 30% of the time or more. So if it's more than 30% of the time, it's a clear call. If it's less than 30% of the time, it's a pretty easy fold. I think you could probably fold there. The thing is, you know, I'm just going to try and get to showdown unless we hit a heart. So now we are going to be raising the river for obvious reasons. Here we flopped a set too. So let's try and not lose with a set this time. And we'll raise here. Let's go 14-15. And we'll raise here. The thing is, so I can't, by the way, if he slow played kings or queens, he's getting the money here. I'll just tell you right now. Because I'm not going to fold a flush against this guy heads up. So he did, and that's why we didn't rejam the river. So we're kind of running on fire. But it does feel like he could have a boat there, the way he 3-bet pre and then check, leads river and then re-raises, but there's 0% chance against a guy that's shown to be this crazy. We're going to have a flush and then just fold it. So unlucky there. That one I do not feel bad about at all. I'm unapologetic about that loss. That was never going to be a fold, which is why I clarified it ahead of time. Oh gosh, this is super annoying. So I checked with the intention of keeping the pot small because we have an open ender, but with it being a 2-flush board and it going raise big 3-bet, we will just fold there. Here we have a set, and it looks like we might get a call. And yep, good thing we folded. This guy's jamming the money in, getting snap called, and it looks like it's going to be a combo draw. We would have hit our straight right there, by the way, against top. And here, 3 of a kind sevens does win. He calls the river, but that's not going to nearly make up for our loss. Okay, back to this ace-4 hand. So I talked about the math of it a little bit. You have to be good 30% of the time or more. I see guys like just spazzing weird overpairs like aces, kings, queens. Problem is sometimes it's jacks and the jack hit the river. So he either has a flush. I don't think he's bluffing very often because there's not a ton of bluffs he can have. So I know this hand is like way, way back. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. Let's just find it and Hold'em Manager. Yeah, we'll fold here. Let's find Hold'em Manager. All right, this session, biggest losses. So tens was a big one, twos. Okay, pull up this hand. All right, so let's remember. Let me remember what the board is to see if there's any chance he could even have a bluff, because I don't think the board actually had any bluffs available to him. I guess 8-10, but the straight got there. Yeah, actually, that might make it a better fold on the river. Where are you? Okay, so 8-10 gets her on the turn, but he just calls in on that board, so I don't think he has 8-10. So look, his hand looks like a flush, and it probably is a flush. You know, his stats are 33-20, so is that even him? Player 3. Player 3, yeah, that's him. He wouldn't play pocket 9s or 7s this way, at least I don't think he would. Sometimes they'll show you that. I'm actually, like, more often see guys with, like, aces, kings, queens play it this way. It makes zero sense. He essentially waits until, like, it's possible I have the flush and then reps the flush, but you see all sorts of weird stuff. Even, like, pocket 10s, 8s turns their hand into a bluff. So the only hands that can really be bluffing are pocket 10s, pocket 8s, some weird ace, king, ace, queen with one heart. It wouldn't make sense for him to call the turn, though. So I don't think he's bluffing very often. So you have to figure out, yeah, we will snap call here. Let me just isolate against this guy. Our jack's gonna win. So far, so good. That's not good. Yep, we're gonna lose that one. Not running super hot today. Ace king will raise. And I'm back here. So yeah, it looks like a flush. Maybe you could fold the river. Like I said, let's go back a thing. He bets $30 into 46. So it is, let's go back before I call. 30 into 46. So I'm being asked to call 30 into 76. So 30 into 106 means I need to have the best hand. 106, 28% of the time. Does he do this without a hand that beats us 28% of the time or more? I don't know. It seems doubtful. It seems really doubtful. All right. You gonna trap us again? Hey, we've got the nuts, so I kind of doubt it. Yeah, we'll raise here. I'm back. I am gonna cut this session out here. Gosh, if he just like running flushed against our nut straight, it would kind of suck, but again, 0% chance we are folding here, and he'll show us the flush against the nut straight. All right, well, that's probably as good a time as any to end the session. I gotta go get some food, and this guy kind of just coolers us left and right anyway, so let's real quickly sit out next hand here. We'll sit out next hand here and call that one a day. Call that one a day. And we'll probably, all right, we'll finish this hand. Sit out, sit out. That's a 3-bet. We'll sit out there. Hey, we got a pair of 6s here. Let's see if that shows down. So do I think we have the best hand 28% of the time or more? It's very, 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 very close. I don't know. And the 6s win, so we'll be done with that too. Let's take a look at the session stats. Now we got our results graph here. And where's just our session? Got dual monitors here. Let's pull this up. All right. So played 317 hands, lost 2 buy-ins. Kind of got crushed there, especially by that guy hitting the running flush when we had the nut straight and having the boat when we hit the running flush. Heads up, that is just very, very sick. Those are 2 super monsters. No, it wasn't a bad stream, man. We played a pretty short session. I would love to play that guy more. Unfortunately, on Ignition, we're not going to have that opportunity. to ever know if we're playing him again, but that's okay. These kind of things happen. If you look at, this, we ran a little bit under EV. Should have lost about 49. We lost whatever, 100 and, what was it? 115. So kind of just the way it is. When you turn the nuts against an aggressive player and they hit a running flush, and you hit a running flush, second nut flush, against a guy who has a boat and plays crazy, it's going to be pretty hard to win. So we lost a couple buy-ins on those two hands. We also had the pocket 10s against pocket 9s, which was kind of a cooler, though, I don't know. That kind of just plays itself out since we flopped the open-ender. I'm trying to think of any other crazy hands. I mean, nothing too crazy. It is what it is. There's not much we could do about it. So I'm not too upset about it. But I'll stream again later, so I'm happy you watched, man. Thanks.